All right, we're going to read the Family Christmas Tree book by Tommy DePaulo because today we're talking about Germany, and in that country is where a lot of the Christmas tree really became famous for people to put up every Christmas. So this is the Family Christmas Tree book by Tommy DePaulo. He was the author and the illustrator. Hi, Mom and Dad. How did Christmas trees get started? Yeah, who invented the first one? Well, no one's exactly sure who invented the first one, but decorated trees and branches at Christmas time have been around for a long time. In the Middle Ages, December 24th was called Adam and Eve's Day. On that day, a play was put on in front of the churches. Evergreen branches with apples of them were part of that play. They represented the tree of paradise. I guess people liked the bright green branches because when the medieval plays were no longer performed, people brought evergreens and even small fir trees into their homes. Especially in Germany, they put not only apples on the trees, but also paper roses and flat wafers. The paper or the apples represented Adam and Eve, the roses the Virgin Mary, and the wafers the Christ child. These trees were called Christbaum. You can see the wafers and the apples and the roses. Dad and I just read that in Germany they had other Christmas things too. One was called a pyramid. It was made out of wood and decorated with branches and candles. The other was called a light stock, and it was a flat triangle-shaped rack just for candles. Right. Lots of German people had either a pyramid or light stock and a Christbaum standing side by side in the same room. Finally, candles were moved from the pyramid to the tree. Of course, the old-time trees were small and put on tables. It wasn't until a Christmas tree came to America that it reached from the floor to the ceiling. When did Christmas trees come to America? Well, the first trees known about were decorated in 1747 by a group of people from Germany called Moravians. They lived in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Little by little, as more German people moved to America, there were more Christmas trees. Other people borrowed the custom, and by the 1800s, many magazines had articles about them. Famous people had Christmas trees too. In England, Queen Victoria's German husband, Prince Albert, helped to make them popular. He gave decorated trees to schools and army barracks. At the palace, there was a separate tree for each of the young princes and princesses. Teddy Roosevelt decided not to have a Christmas tree one year because he was worried that too many trees were being cut down. His son Archie was so disappointed that he decorated his own tree and hid it in the closet. Of course, Christmas trees aren't cut down from forests anymore. They are grown on farms like the one we went to as a special crop. By the 1930s, Christmas trees became really popular, and now everywhere you look at Christmas time, you will see a Christmas tree. Look, Grandma, how beautiful. I have the Christmas stand already. You know, when I was a little girl, we didn't have a Christmas tree stand. Even though they were being made, they were very expensive. So my father used to nail wood to the bottom of the tree. Once we used all of my mother's flat irons to hold the tree up. You see, right here. But the tree always got very dry. So one Christmas we filled a wash tub with coal, put the tree in the middle of it, and added water. I remember we had to pile bricks on top of the coals so the tree wouldn't fall over. My mother's rich Aunt Clara had a Christmas tree stand that was a music box. As the music played, the tree went around. Okay, let's test the lights. Did you know that the first lights on Christmas trees were real candles? There was a nice legend that a man named Martin Luther was walking one Christmas Eve, and he saw a fir tree on a hill. It was surrounded by stars, and it looked so beautiful that he decided to surprise his family with a special Christmas tree. So he put candles on the branches and lit them, and the tree looked as though it was filled with stars. Grandma, did you ever have a tree with real candles on it? Yes, indeed, real candles were so pretty, but they could only be lit for a short time because they were also very dangerous. The first electric lights were used in 1882. They were on a tree at the home of Edward Johnson. He was a friend of Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb. In 1895, Grover Cleveland was the first president to use electric lights on a tree in the White House. Each bulb had to be wired separately on the tree. A string of lights weren't invented until 1907. Now there are all kinds of Christmas tree lights, the ones that glitter like stars, lights that blink on and off, lights that bubble, and even lights that look just like candles. How come you put the lights on first, Dad? Because it's easier to move around before the ornaments get put on. And here are all our ornaments. Mom, our teacher told us that once people had to make all their own ornaments. They wrapped nuts in pretty paper and used ribbon and cookies and all kinds of other stuff. We make some of our own ornaments. Yes, and we even had some old ornaments that belonged to your great-grandparents. There are tin ones, cotton ones, wax ones, spun glass, and paper ones. And these beautiful glass ones. Did you all know that almost all glass ornaments used to come from one village in Germany? They were all made by hand. American businessmen, including Mr. Woolsworth, began importing them, and by 1930, 95% of glass ornaments hanging on American Christmas trees came from this village. It wasn't until 1939 that glass ornaments were made in America. Can somebody hand me the star? Why do we put a star on top of the tree, Grandma? Our family uses a star to remind us of the Star of Bethlehem. There are so many different ways to decorate a Christmas tree. The main thing is that every family's Christmas tree is very special to that family. Ready? All right, so if you have a Christmas tree at your house, you can take a picture and send it to me, and I will put together all the Christmas trees that we have around and share it with you so that you can see everybody else's Christmas tree too, because they all look different. Some have handmade ornaments, some have family ornaments that have been passed down from generation to generation, and some have theme ornaments, like you might have a gingerbread tree, or you might have a snowman tree. It just depends on what your family does, and I would love to see them and put them together so we can see how different our trees all look. All right, guys, have a great day.